Hi everyone. So in this video, I'd like to kind of like debunk the misconceptions about the king's wealth that is often misunderstood. So like major media outlets such as the BBC and the Al Jazeera, they like to kind of like unfairly attack the king, and one of the things that they use to attack him is his wealth. And here are some of the articles. The Thai king signs crowns 30 billion assets to himself. Um, you know, so for example, the BBC, they always attack the king, and this article said that the king takes control of some $30 billion in crown assets. And my question to this is, so what? That's my response. So what? It's none of anyone's business. Um, you know, um, Whether what he does with his own assets. And I say that these are, yeah. So the king has two sources of wealth. The first being his personal wealth, so it's nothing to do with anyone at all, right? So his personal wealth started pretty much with his great grandmother. Um, so she was very business savvy. Um, she was very frugal. She was very good with money. She was a good investor. So she bought lands, real estate, farms, and she had uh, rice mills. So she made a lot of money, and the money was then passed on to Prince Mahidol, his grandfather, and then which was then passed on to his father, King Bhumibol or King Rama X. And after he passed away, rightfully, the so the wealth was then passed on to the current king. And then another source of wealth is the crown wealth, right? So this is the wealth kind of generated over many generations from from the first um, from the first king of the dynasty to the current king, right? The crown wealth is pretty vast, right? So you have the SCB, which is the bank, and the SCG, the Siam Cement Group. So they make like construction materials and all the palaces and and temples, right? So the crown wealth has, you know, it belongs to the current king and to the future king, right? So this, like the crown wealth, the king cannot just give this to anyone by law. So I think one of the things that protesters kind of like worried, right, was that the king might give this to to his children, which is like wrong. Like he can't just give it to anyone. So there are two sources of wealth, and basically it's none of anyone's business how he managed the wealth, right? Um, so before the 2017 and 18, right, the crown property was managed by Thailand's Ministry of Finance, and I'll name this Manager One because yeah, the manager managed the his personal wealth, right? And so this manager on the Ministry of Finance, there was a lot of embezzlement and corruption. But from the 2017 and 18 onward, both kind of sets of assets are now managed by the same manager. So so before the Crown Wealth was managed by the Ministry of Finance, now it's being managed by the Crown Property Bureau. So actually, it's just the management just changed hands, but the ownership of assets remain the same. So and the point I'm trying to get across is that like the government doesn't own the assets. It's always like the ownership's always been the same throughout history, from the even from 1932 to present, right? Just the way it's managed and who managed it. So yeah, so when the media such as Al Jazeera and the BBC, they're very sensationalist. They like to attack the king with and using like the crown property to attack him. I think it's a moot point. There's no point in discussing it. I mean, what's yours is yours, right? So yeah,